Right now I'm kneeling down beside the North Fork of Clear Creek. I'm in Gilpin County, about, well, I don't know, 500 yards away from Vic's gold panning. And I got so excited about gold and discoveries of gold that I thought I'd give it another try. And I've never found a single thing gold panning as far as gold was concerned, but we'll give it another try today. Loaded up my pan with quite a bit of dirt here. Got some leaves in here that I want to get out. Little rocks. We got to get all the rocks out. Just kind of a little swirling kind of motion. And you just repeat that a bunch of times. Look at that black sand. When you see that black sand, it's so heavy compared to all the other sands. And it's usually the thing that's left with the gold. We might have a little gold in there. Let's see. No. Well, I'll keep working it.
While Buffalo Roamed, The Wild Western Days of Colorado, Episode 5, Prospecting for Gold. Let's understand gold a little better. How do you find it? Like, how did it get here, and how did the prospectors find it in 1858? They say to prospect for gold, it helps to do so where gold has previously been found. Why, that's a big help, I guess. Like, look for wild lions in Africa, not Key West. Okay, good tip, but generally speaking, where is gold found, and where did it come from? The short answer is outer space and Earth's core. And it rains it all day and night, but we'll get back to that one. Let's start with space. Supernova, the explosion of a massive star. An event to behold, I guess, and I think we're 300 years overdue to see one. And the resulting energy can actually form the heavier elements such as gold or tungsten. Remnants of exploded stars crash up there. The energy of such events forming more gold in space. When celestial debris, asteroids, and meteorites crash into the planet, the heavenly bodies break up into tiny pieces, particles, depositing heavy metals such as gold into the Earth's crust. So, there's space gold here on Earth, and lots of it. And way early in Earth's life, there was significant bombardment, the heavens making a cash deposit. Some believe most of the gold found is sent here from space. Meanwhile, down in the molten depths of Earth, near the mantle on that dividing line between solid rock and not, liquid gold was created and forced into crevices that solidified, the native rock impregnated with veins of it. This phenomenon occurs randomly, but the upheaval or formation of mountain ranges exposes rocks that were deep beneath at one point. Now they're in plain sight, as are the veins of gold in those rocks. Quartz is a common carrier of gold. Maybe host is the word. Think of a small amount of oil in a water bottle, separated of course at rest, but if you shook the bottle and were able to freeze the contents instantly, the oil would be randomly frozen in the pockets within the ice. They are separate but locked together. The water is kind of like the rocks and the oil the gold. Wonderful. Everybody gets that. These are very broad strokes indeed. But how does anybody find gold locked in rock? High up on a mountain. Well, that's the whole thing, isn't it? Dumb luck accounts for a high percentage of gold finds. Hey, what's that? Oh, you pick it up, it's a little golden pebble. The native tribal people living on future Colorado lands found gold but had no use for it. They throw that stuff right back. Boy, do I like those people. The water is the answer. Prospecting begins in the water, usually. Somewhere High up on a mountainside, an exposed rock happens to show quite a vein of gold locked within. Just happened that way. You could call it luck or fate. It's open to the elements and unknown to a living soul. Throughout the course of millions of years, erosion from wind, snow, rain, tumbling rocks from above, a mountain goat climbs over it, whatever. Tiny gold particles, maybe sometimes even larger ones, fall into the river below, or creek, or accumulate somewhere else in a nice pile. But the water always gets some of it, and when gold was found in Cherry Creek and the South Platte, the gold could have taken a million-year trip to get there, from that exposed rock up on the mountainside somewhere 20, 30 miles away. In the Rocky Mountains, there were many rocks exposed at one point or another in many ranges, over thousands of miles. Same as California, and the same as Georgia and North Carolina on smaller scales. So the gold found in the water is called placer gold. The gold actually in the native rock is lode gold. The gold the teamster found in Cherry Creek was placer gold, tiny particles, almost dust, that had traveled from the lode somewhere up the creek. But how do you find the lode gold? Again, the water using a pan, a gold pan. Panning for gold is a quick way to separate sand and dirt from the heavier particles like iron and gold. There is a technique, but basically, you dump the material you want to test into the pan. Add water, and then there's kind of a shimmy and a swirl, and then you dump off the overs. You dump that off over the top of the pan back into the water. The idea is for the heavy gold particles to have a path and means to a path downward, sifting down to the bottom while dumping the lighter material over the tipped pan with the water. This is the same for any mining. There are overs and unders. In this case, the person with the pan wants the unders, what's not dumped over. More water is added and the process repeated, removing rocks and little pebbles until only black sands, usually found where gold is found, and gold particles are the last remains in the pan. So that's how to actually find the gold in the pan, but how do you find the lode? Well, you would start somewhere and work your way up the creek or the river, toward the mountains. And if you keep finding color, all you have learned is that there is gold right there. Maybe you move 3 miles, or make it simple, 50 feet with the same result. Let's say there are 3 tiny flakes both times. The next test spot further up the creek yields nothing. You go back and get the 3 grains again, maybe more, maybe less, but you do get the color. If you systematically work the area this way, you could learn that the source is somewhere above you, from higher up on one side of you or the other. An examination of the mountainsides is next, and the lode will usually be found. The teamster at the conveyance of Cherry Creek in the South Fork of the Platte might have returned to the spot, and instead of looking for the lode, why not just scoop up all this placer gold? Right. At that moment, the teamster, we'll call him Greg. He comes back with a rocker box or a sluice box. These primitive but very functional mining tools used water as a medium to separate the sand and dirt from the gold way faster than panning. You scoop the dirt that you wanted to work into one end of the box, which has ribs in the bottom. The heavy material remained and the rest fled with the water out of the box. If Greg sets up his box or decides to work that whole area with a pan, he is then mining. He could make a claim along the water, and now he's a miner working an active mine. No longer prospecting. Pretty easy, huh? The truth is, I've really got as much chance of finding gold in my front yard than I do in the creek. The creek's been worked and reworked so many times. My yard hasn't.
I'm prospecting in my own yard right now. Why would I check the dirt in my driveway?
Because it rains gold. On my house in Colorado, your house wherever you live, your neighbor's house, houses and buildings in Bolivia, parking lots in Michigan. you might want to check those culverts. What are you talking about, man? The asteroids, the meteors you see sometimes crisscrossing the sky at night. And they go at day too. And as they burn up, fine particles of all kinds of stuff, including gold, falls to the earth, into the oceans and rivers, on the mountains and onto the parking lots, salting the rainforests and deserts alike with gold. Been doing it forever. Today, gold is worth over $3,200 an ounce. And it's so common, it actually falls from the sky like rain. Or dust, rain, or rain dust. Gold dust from space. I've carefully selected the contents for this pan, and I've just got a bucket of water with me to use as my, my water. But I can still effectively pan this and just dump it right back in the bucket. I've got a good feeling about this one. Now I'm just removing the little rocks. Get some more water. A little dump. Some more water. Ooh, I can see we're getting down to the black sand. You don't want to hurry this part. All right. Boy. Looking into this black sand, I think maybe... No. Man, it falls from the sky and I still can't find a speck of it. Who needs it? Well, maybe one more pan. That won't hurt, right? Thank you so much for listening. That's it for today. Tune in next time when we meet William Larimer Jr. We're going to make Denver, find Golden Cherry Creek, and meet the Russell Party while the buffalo roamed. Till next time, thank you, and have a great and safe week out there, wherever you are. This is J.B. Reynolds, copyright 2025.